The Legend of the Infested Furniture, Entry 4 in the Book of Lost Urban Legends, read by Anthony Wilborn. Despite its crudeness, the game really did help. The honk, honk, honk noise, though annoying, helped Dean forget about where he was. The blue screen, flickering ghosts, and blocky ball eclipsed the flaky, stringy, and fuzzy things in the house that made his skin crawl. The door, which was closed, seemed to protect him from the uncomfortable unfamiliarities that lay outside the room. The game was Pac-Man, and although it wasn't the type of VG he would have been playing if he were at home, it was making his overnight stay at the Westlake slightly more tolerable. Dean was more of a side-scroller, beat-em-up, and occasional role-play type of kid. He didn't mind Ty's Atari, he just would have rather been playing his Nintendo. It was 1992, long enough ago for something probable to become something speculative, and most of his friends, including himself, had upgraded to the NES or Sega Genesis. They would visit each other's houses just to try the consoles out. But Ty's house was different. It was smaller, grungier, with downstairs bedrooms whose enjoyability was ruled by the rotund queen upstairs. Byrna Westlake didn't like things she couldn't control, that she couldn't shut off. That was one of the reasons why her son kept his doors shut. He didn't want his mother to hear the noise and lash out. Byrna was a friend of Dean's mother, Elaine. They met in the early 70s and even dated some of the same men. The two women, irrespective of their diverging paths, stayed in touch, while Elaine made the conscious decision to have Dean years later. Byrna slipped and birthed CJ at age 16 with one man and Ty with another 5 years later. They were actions Byrna always regretted and, if not for the tax credits, would have hated. Dean disliked Byrna. He thought she was loud, vulgar, and mean. He would see her yell at her kids. Never hit them, but leave enough of a sting for one to fear such a blow. Does Elaine know about this? After Ty had his turn at a couple of rounds, CJ, who had been in his room several feet away, opened the door and said, "Didn't you hear Mom calling? It's time to eat." Within seconds, CJ, Ty, and Dean ascended to the four-room, clover-like confines of the top floor. They stopped at the center, where the living room met the hall. In the boys' line of sight was the kitchen and a cream-colored, steel-legged table. On its top were 3 bowls of something thick, lumpy, and brown. There was also a plate of Wonder Bread slices. "Kool-Aid's in the fridge," Byrna said unattentively. She was planted on the couch, watching a broadcast. The couch, which will serve as the catalyst for our story's terrible end, was black and decorated with pink and blue flowers. The sofa was similarly colored and decorated. Byrna had gotten the set at a yard sale. The couch stood by a wall, the sofa by an adjacent wall, a 24-inch television by another wall, and a folding table holding a 4th bowl and beer by her. CJ approached the table first. He got a better look at the heated mush. He wasn't happy. Dean, meanwhile, surveyed the kitchen. In addition to the sink of dishes, half-empty coffee pot, and can of melting garbage, there was a musty odor that the Westlakes probably couldn't smell, but an infrequent visitor like himself could. Typically, Byrna had her children help with the chores, usually on Sundays or at some other point during the week. But today was Friday. And because of an argument between Berna and CJ, Wednesday's top floor cleaning was postponed. Chilly again, CJ moaned. Berna turned away from the TV. What do you mean, chilly again? We had that last week. In a sporting, yet ominous way, she replied, No, you didn't. You didn't get bread with it last time. Eat it.